My partner decided our face sunscreen was causing clogged pores and he asked ChatGPT what to do about it. This post that I wrote on LinkedIn just this week went viral about this very tube of Beauty of Joson SPF. Just 2 weeks ago, I had never even heard of this SPF, but it turns out that LinkedIn is wild about it. And the comments went absolutely mad on this post. So let me take you back to what happened and why we even care and how it relates to search marketing. So I bought this SPF 50 based on finding a suntan lotion ready for the UK heatwave that wasn't going to cause spots everywhere for me and my partner. And I bought it really quickly. So after ChatGPT told us the type of SPF we needed, I Googled it, found an AI overview, found this product, thought the brand looked pretty good, and then I went straight to Amazon, put it in my cart, and bought it within 5 minutes. Then just a week later, we were having homemade pizza made with an Uni pizza oven, highly recommend, at my parent-in-law's house in the garden. And my sister-in-law pulls out this exact same tube of SPF, and I couldn't believe it. I was like, where did you find that? And the crazy thing is, she had a completely different search journey to me to find this suntan lotion. So she searched through TikTok reviews for hours. She said she watched loads of reviews. Then she Googled the brand to see how trustworthy they were, check if there'd been any news stories about them, read an article in The Guardian where they were featured in the best SPFs or a similar kind of roundup list. Then she read a bunch more reviews on resellers like Look Fantastic and then bought it there. So this isn't like intended to be a Gen Z TikTok story. Me and my sister-in-law, we're both in our mid 30s, easily sunburn, and my partner as well with this heat wave coming. But the funny thing is how different those search journeys were to ultimately reach the same product. Now, this post went really crazy. Almost 400 likes, 183 comments from people talking about their skincare regimes, the search journeys that they took to get there, the different things that they look for, the USPs, what they actually care about, which platforms they look, and like the bigger, broader marketing trend that's going on here, which is we all search differently. And search isn't this linear process that we go through anymore. So, where we might think of a very traditional buyer funnel, where you start your research at the top, you move into consideration, you do your comparison research, and then eventually you find who you're going to purchase for. And then maybe, if they're a good brand, they manage to nurture you and you might become a repeat purchaser from them. This is still true in the sense that ultimately this is roughly how a buyer moves down a buyer funnel, except it isn't that linear. We have so many different touch points, and we all, even if we might be similar demographics to one another, search very differently when we're looking for products. This exact thread, if you have some time on your hands, dive into the comments because you will see just how differently so many people, both men and women of different age ranges, different types of roles, from this thread is international. We've got UK people, US people, someone who bought in Korea. It's global. Had very different journeys to find this exact same product. And as my friend Phil Tragus Evans, who works at Giraffe Social, says, this is because the way that we search is actually much more akin to a pinball machine. So rather than going in this sweet straight line, we're actually ping-ponging all over the place before we finally make a purchase. While one of us is reading ChatGPT or an AI overview, some of us still search on Google, some are actually just straight into TikTok, others are on Instagram Reels, some are in Reddit threads reading reviews there, some are buying through resellers, some would never ever buy through resellers and are buying direct from brands. But the interesting thing is how these search journeys were both online and offline. So we also had dermatologists come into this thread. Incredible. Thank you so much to everyone who generously gave their time in this comment section to actually share what your search journey looks like and a little bit about who you are. Dermatologists who recommend this product, people who had been referred this product by dermatologists. And we all know that an industry expert giving a referral of a product is the very best. It's the creme de la creme of making a purchase. I also had just another example, problems with my feet. I've got plantar fasciitis and I needed a different pair of shoes. I went to a foot expert who scanned my feet, told me what exercises I needed to do to reduce the pain and inflammation in my feet, and recommended me to wear specifically for my feet Brooks GTS running shoes. Even though I'm not a runner and I'm not going running, those specific shoes worked perfectly for my feet, and my pain has since gone after that. I'm in no way affiliated with Beauty of Joson or Brooks running shoes. This is just an example of how search journeys change and how important it is for businesses and brands to be thinking about the different ends of the funnel. So we've got dermatologists referring offline as well. We've got people telling me that dermatologists referred them. We've got people doing their research literally in Korea about skincare. One of my favorite examples was the confession that Dr. Pete from Moz gave, that he had been on a very, very long skincare journey with ChatGPT, unpicking false information that he had thought was true and using ChatGPT to actually fact find. So where we might usually be concerned about misinformation in AI tools, this was the opposite. He was using it to actually learn about skincare and change his regime, using it to get product recommendations. We also had in this thread an incredible influencer called Marta, who is very big in the skincare space. And she was actually the woman that first taught me from her fantastic Instagram reels back in the day that you even needed to wear SPF in order to take care of your skin and reduce the wrinkles and aging, especially if you're using retinol the night before. So this whole web of the internet is going on with our search journeys. Now, what does this mean if you're a brand? What does this mean if you are Beauty of Joson? What does it mean if you are a competitor? Many people will say this is a search everywhere situation. And it is certainly the case that now that we have so much information online and we have so many different platforms, we also have the ability to read more, research more, fact check, read reviews, look for testimonials. And, there's offline things that actually influence that as well. And how realistic then is it to be marketing across all of these channels? So when it comes to LLMs, a huge number of people in this thread told me that they either use ChatGPT or AI overviews or their favorite AI. And this is one of the things that is incredibly difficult for brands to track. So in my example, my partner had actually searched this in ChatGPT. ChatGPT told him the solution to the problem, which was what kind of suntan lotion do I need to prevent clogged pores. It gave him the overall bracket of products to look for. It didn't give specific recommendations. It was then me Googling for that specific kind of SPF what was needed, and it was the AI overview that recommended. Because I then bought through Amazon and I didn't click through from the AI overview, it doesn't mean that Beauty of Joson would even know that we had touch points with ChatGPT and with AI overviews on Google in order to make that purchase. So while some traffic can be tracked and attributed directly to ChatGPT, if you click directly on a link inside ChatGPT, then a business would be able to see that in their Google Analytics. In many cases, there's this kind of situation, which is known as dark traffic, where there's no way to 100% be able to attribute exactly what it was that led a customer to you. In Beauty of Joson's tracking, that's just going to be showing as a purchase that came through Amazon instead, one of their Amazon purchases. And this is going to be the same for all brands. There's no perfect solution, but there is a way to think about your marketing. And that's to think not only about what specific demographic might be searching where, but it's to be thinking about the overall narrative your product has across all of these different platforms. So Beauty of Joson actually has many different USPs that they're pushing forward, but they're very known for being a Korean skincare brand, and they've been growing significantly as well. So they've been known for being a bit of an underdog, coming up into some of the biggest Korean skincare brands. And as anyone UK, US knows, there is, of course, a very big growing trend for Korean skincare because we all want the glowing, milky, lovely looking porcelain skin that our Korean neighbours halfway across the world do seem to have and advertise. Whether that's just genetics or whether it's possible is a story to be debated in another comment thread, I think. But there's a trend going on there, right? So this brand, known in that area, they're on trend. Then what they're doing is running campaigns. They're running campaigns across TikTok. They're running PR campaigns. That article in The Guardian, remember, they're on reseller sites. And they have very consistent messaging across these about the USPs, the unique selling points of their product, that it's going to just glide across your skin, non-sticky, non-horrible. It's not going to clog your pores. It's not going to leave white streaks or white marks all over your face, which it doesn't, to be fair. I'm not an SPF expert. I'm just saying that it doesn't. They've used those USPs and you see them across different parts of the web. And these guys definitely didn't have a LinkedIn strategy. It was just complete chance that I posted about it, and this post went viral with all of these fantastic people who are happy to share their experiences. But that's what triggers. Once you actually have enough PR going on online, they will have put together campaigns for TikTok. They're known for being viral on TikTok. They will have worked hard to get that feature in The Guardian to be known as the best SPFs, which is great timing ahead of the UK summer, which if they're selling globally, you want to be ahead of the summer in every country where you're selling in the top kinds of publications that you can be for those types of terms that you know people are going to be looking for. And they're trusted sources, right? Like we trust The Guardian. If we're in the UK, The Guardian's a trusted source where we think, okay, you know, whoever's authored that article, they're going to have tried these SPFs. This is not just a brand publishing a listicle on their own website and saying they're the best. It's a PR strategy that is built around seasons, and it's built around finding authoritative publications. All of these signals then help. Once this product's already popular, people are talking about it on Reddit. Many of the commenters said they'd read very deeply into Reddit reviews about skincare. If you're a big skincare fanatic, then I'm sure you very, very much do your research and want first-person experiences from people like you on Reddit. So that's a great place to do it. Some people also doing the same in TikTok. So I expect there will have been a strong UGC campaign being run off the back of it. Then we've got all of these messages going on, right? And this is what LLMs are picking up across the web. And there are a huge number of touch points that happen with LLMs, be that Google's AI overviews or AI mode, be it ChatGPT or Gemini or Claude, whichever one you're using. ChatGPT for this type of thing tends to be the most popular because it's just the most used of the LLMs in general outside of work. So then they're picking up these signals, they're picking up this narrative, they're picking up this story about the brand, they're seeing the popularity of it, and they're able to surface it in relevant information. So that means there's going to be more and more touch points where search marketing is going across channels. The overarching point of this podcast is that if you are a brand and you are thinking about how to make sure that your products or your services get picked up, is you need to be thinking about search across platforms. You need to be thinking about attributing not just a last click attribution, but how you think about all of the touch points that your customers might be having, and also how you meet your customers where they are. This is the perfect example, this thread, of so many customers of Beauty of Joson who are happy sharing their experiences and talking about a product, what they loved or what they didn't like and how they found it. Thank you everyone for giving your time. And that's just a gold mine, right? If you're Beauty of Joson, who aren't even on LinkedIn though. So there's another opportunity here for them to pick it up. So search isn't just linear anymore. People search across so many different platforms. Even people of the same demographic might be searching across different platforms. And third, search journeys are different lengths. My search journey took under a day, all of 5 minutes to complete. My sister-in-law took about 6 weeks to complete her purchase and research of this very same product. So you have to build for all types of customers. And the part that this doesn't even reach is if you are a brand like this, once you get that customer in, you want to have really strong email marketing automations off the back of it so that you can also be building your brand affinity with that person so that they feel attached to the brand, and hopefully long-term nurturing them to make repeat purchases if they love your products once they've used them. And also, why not ask them to send in UGC? Why not create even more of a buzz that way? So this has been a wonderful conversation. I'm also going to write up a blog post on LinkedIn. So if you really want to jump in and get involved, then find the link to my LinkedIn thread in the show notes, and also find the link to my LinkedIn blog post featuring this podcast in the show notes as well. If you have opinions on search journeys, how people search, or you are yourself a user of this SPF 50, I would love to hear exactly how you came to buy it, if you can remember, and what your search journey looked like.